Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be like a part 2 of putting in our actual Euro Compulsion 1446 Plus big turbo. Now, we need to finish this part up here. I need to get some data logging done for this, so that way we can send that off to Euro Compulsion, and they can probably take 2 months to look at it before they respond to me and tell me everything probably looks fine. But nonetheless, we're going to get it sent over to them. I did need to fix one thing on this rear line. So our coolant line on the back side of that turbo back there, it is leaking. So in order for us to get back there, we're gonna have to pull a couple of these cover pieces off and hopefully just retighten it, and then it shouldn't be leaking after we do that. So we're gonna start off by doing that, and then we can take the car back out for its paces and do a little bit more logging. A 19mm wrench in here right on the back. We just pulled off the top. I just tightened it up a little bit. I think that should be good. I don't want to strip this out whatever I do, because then we're going to be screwed. So if this doesn't seal it, then we're going to need to replace those washers in there. Since we're all good here, we're just going to clean everything up and then button everything back up here real quick, and we'll be hitting the road. All right, I have a new head mount camera. We're going to go ahead, take a quick test drive, and I'll give you guys my thoughts and my reactions to what this can do. Mind you, this is only the base map that they sent me. We still will need to do some data logging, get some revisions, and it should feel a little bit better. But because they're already familiar with this setup, it should be pretty decent already. Hopefully I can pick up what my boost gauge and what my AFR gauge is doing over here. Second gear felt pretty decent right there. I didn't get on it all the way, but the boost spooled up like at a pretty low RPM, like probably 3,500 or so, which is much better than before. Yeah, it looks like 3,500 RPM seems to be where it's kind of hitting at when it reaches peak, and it looks like it's peaking right around 24 pounds of boost is what I'm seeing. We're gonna try a first through like 4th gear here and see how this thing really feels. We'll try to go like wide open throttle here. That was my first test run with this. I gotta say, I mean, it wasn't crazy. It felt like it did pull better in the higher RPMs for sure, but it didn't really put me back in my seat at all. It spools up really quick. I mean, went through the gears good. We didn't even spin the tires in first gear there. Now, we did have traction control wasn't off, so I'd like to try it with traction control off and see if we can break them loose a little bit more, but everything's running smoothly though nonetheless. Looked like my AFR gauges over here were pegged out all the way pig rich at right around 10. I guess I kind of would have expected it to feel a little bit better than that. Hopefully this will need a revision, and that can spice it up a little bit more from where it is right now though. So maybe I'm speaking too soon. And I will say, in terms of sound, it sounds just like a stock 1446. It really doesn't sound any different at all. Like, it's not louder by any means. This is gonna be take 2. We're gonna try this with traction control off. I'll roll the windows down and we're gonna see what we can do here. Make sure it's clear. Nothing too crazy, I don't think. I mean, I think it was probably a little bit quicker than the phase 2, but not much right now, I don't think. We're gonna do a couple flybys at one of my favorite spots, and we can kind of see what it sounds like and go from there. We're gonna start by doing a quick third gear pull in this car from right around 2,500 RPMs up to right about 6,000, I would say. The car is all warmed up, so let's get logging here. Third gear, we'll get it at about 2,500 RPMs. 3, 2, 1, go. Do one more quick third gear here. So I'll get into third gear right around 2,500. 3, 2, 1, go. Do a quick second gear through fourth gear. So second gear right now, we'll get on it. 3, 2, 1, go. Check engine light, and it looks like our car isn't quite idling right now, so I'm going to take this back. We need to figure out what this is, and I also forgot to hit connect on my phone for my actual app to read those last couple logs we just did, so we will need to redo those. But first we're going to figure out what this check engine light's for. Let's see what we got here. Random misfire detected. That's not good. I have not seen that one before. Looks like 3 codes, all for random misfiring. P0300. The check engine light came on right after I did a decent rip from second gear to fourth gear. We took it up pretty high in the RPMs. Now, I do have the Dart Madness ignition coils on this, and I also did put new NGK plugs on it. I've heard kind of mixed results with the ignition coils that I did from Dart Madness. I mean, let's pop the hood. We'll see if we see anything obvious. We'll check the connections. But other than that, I'm just going to erase this, and hopefully it doesn't come back. Everything looks beautiful in here. These are those ignition coils that I was telling you guys about. Now, it is possible that we maybe for some new plugs in this, because obviously this motor's been pushed a little bit more than stock with more boost and stuff like that. But I only have probably maybe 6,000–7,000 miles on these spark plugs from when they're new, and they were NGK plugs, so they're decent plugs. We're gonna go try this again, see if we get that check engine light to pop back up, and if it does, then I may need to look into trying to swap different plugs in here. And I also did keep the old ignition coils too as well, in the case that maybe these are the culprit. We're gonna try out another third gear, and right around 2,500 RPMs. 3, 2, 1, go. That just broke up really badly right there. Second gear, 2,500 RPM. try out a first through like 4th gear here. Wide open throttle. I'm kind of holding on to the camera, so it's not going to be a great one. But let's see what happens here though. And we're going to do it from a roll. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, we just blew a pipe off, so we're going to have to see if I can fix that and make it back home or not. We're going to cut the motor right now. You take a look in here, looks like it was the lower pipe that comes off of the actual outlet. Right here on the bottom, looks like I lost one of my clamps. I still do have one on there, but we're gonna have to get underneath the car here and at least pop that back on and get it temporarily tightened just so we can make it back. I did make it back. Now, looks like our pipe did fly off again. The good news is, with at least these cars, if you do pop an intercooler pipe off, the car is not completely undrivable. It's not just going to stall out on you. It's just not going to idle that well. And I did also find one of my clamps flew off. I did find this in the road, and you can see this thing, it got bent up quite a bit. So this definitely shot off and went flying, and I heard that too as well. So we're going to let this cool off, and then we'll get hopefully that pipe resituated down there. Doesn't look like anything got damaged, so we're just gonna have to secure it up a little bit better. And we had 2 clamps on it holding it, so I'm kind of surprised that it was one of those that fell off down there as opposed to one of these up here where there's only 1 clamp holding them. We're gonna get our clips back on here. So this is all jacked up, and as you can see, here's our piping right here that fell off and blew off on us. Now we're gonna put 2 of our clamps back on here, and we're also gonna try to rough up the surface on this right here where it slips onto this actual hose piece. So that's what we have some sandpaper for. The issue a lot of times is that these are too smooth when they come brand new, and causes your pipe to just slide right off. But if you rough this surface up with a little bit of sandpaper, it should give it something to grab onto a little bit better. So we're gonna try that out and see if that gives us any luck. We're all tightened up down there. So now that we're all buttoned up here, let's go ahead and give this a take 2. We are all connected up on the app. We're gonna do a quick 2nd through 4th gear. And 3, 2, 1, go. Ironically, we have our check engine light back on, and even at idle, it just did it a couple times. It's breaking up on idle. You can hear it and you can see it. The RPMs are falling down. I'm assuming that this is probably going to be that misfire check engine that we just had. I'm going to confirm it here. We're going to shut it off real quick. I'm going to reach out to Euro Compulsion. We'll send this stuff over, and I'm going to also try to figure out what's going on with this misfiring. We may need to change out the spark plugs in this. I might do that just to be safe, so that way we have it for our new setup. Until I actually get a revision, this is pretty much where we're going to be at for right now. I'm still not going to be driving the car. This is almost going to be pretty much a wrap for this entire series with this car. I don't think I'm going to do literally anything else, and I really don't think there's anything else that I can do to help this car more than what it has.